What's going on, people? Welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to another video. I hope you guys are doing well this afternoon. You can see that the sun is shining, the weather looking beautiful, except for Sunday. It's going to be lots of rain, but hopefully that doesn't disturb the football in the of course London and the rest of the UK as well. So yeah, but let's hope it's not that heavy rain, otherwise there'll be cancellations and you don't want to see that. So Sunday's the worst, but today's Friday. It's going to be sunny. Tomorrow is going to be a lovely day, but Sunday is going to get lots and lots of work. So make sure on Sunday you bring your jacket on, you bring your umbrella, you bring everything so that you won't get too much wet, if you know what I mean. So yeah. So today, I've got another series on the Premier League predictions, and since we're on match day 13, and also since we've got one more month, less than one more month to go into the World Cup, things are going so fast, you know. We're already in match day 13 already. Man, time goes quick every single day. Like whether you're at school or not, it will just go quick. So about a month to go until the World Cup. You know what I mean? So it's not that going to be long. It's not going to be that long. So yeah. So as this is going quick, let's prepare ourselves to do my Premier predictions for game week number 13. And there's going to be a huge game on Saturday. And I'll tell you guys that in just a minute. But first of all, if you guys haven't done so already, make sure you hit the subscribe button first if you are new. Then smash a like if you enjoyed this video and the rest of the series that I've done so far this season in terms of the Premier predictions. Make sure you hit the bell notification so that you never miss any of my YouTube content and stuff like this. And make sure you share this video to everybody so that they can give their predictions for this week's Premier League fixtures for Game Week 13 in the comments down below. And I'll react to them to say if I'm surprised, if I agree or disagree of any of your predictions, if I get to have time in this video. So yeah. So without further ado, let's quickly go through my predictions for game week number 13. All right, so the first game of the game week 13 kicks off tomorrow afternoon at lunchtime, and it's Nottingham Forest up against Liverpool. Of course, Liverpool are suddenly getting back to winning ways because after that defeat against Arsenal, they beat Rangers 7-1 at Ibrox. Then they faced Manchester City, a huge result. 1-0 against Man City, the champions. That shocked us because we all thought that Man City were going to beat them, but Liverpool did. And then they faced West Ham, who I thought that they didn't deserve to lose that game because they had so many chances. Alisson saved Giles Bowen's penalty, so maybe West Ham could have at least gotten a point. So yeah, but Liverpool, they won that game and they kept a clean sheet. So yeah, so Liverpool are suddenly getting back to form. Whereas for Nottingham Forest, their last game was against Brighton and they drew 0-0. And I said that. I knew that this game will be a 0-0, so I got 3 points for that one. So yeah, Nottingham Forest. If they allow Steve Cooper to come in, that means they're going to be relegated because you simply cannot give this man a new contract here if Nottingham Forest are in the relegation zone. The only way you can give him a new contract is that if Nottingham Forest maybe stay in the mid-table, maybe above the mid-table, if you know what I mean. But since Nottingham Forest are in a relegation zone, you cannot give this guy a new contract. So they decide to do that. Maybe they still trust him, but for me, if he's not careful, Nottingham Forest are going to get relegated, which I don't think I will ever say that this season. I don't think I'll ever say that. So yeah, but they gave this new man a contract, so let's see what he can do for Nottingham Forest from now until the season ends. So yeah, so Nottingham Forest up against Liverpool. Now, of course, when these two faced each other last season, Liverpool beat them. I think it was maybe 1-0, 2-0 in the FA Cup. I can't remember. It was a different at that time. Nottingham Forest were in the Championship, and they have a really good record, but Liverpool managed to beat them. So yeah. So I think this season, since Liverpool are getting back to winning ways and Nottingham Forest only still managed one win so far this season, um, this game is going to be difficult for Nottingham Forest because Yeah, like I said, Liverpool. I said before the season starts that Liverpool are struggling, but now they are 4 points, just 4 points by Man United for the top four. So yeah, so I know that Liverpool fans are praying that Chelsea beat Man United and Liverpool win their game against Nottingham Forest, so that they could be 1 point by Manchester United. Let's hope we can do Liverpool a favor, if you know what I mean. So yeah, so for this game tomorrow at lunchtime, I'm gonna go for a 2-0 Liverpool win. I think Liverpool will keep another clean sheet. They'll get back to winning ways, and they'll be a team, yeah, that I think that will finish in the top four. Because for me, yeah, um, many people um, including myself, thought that yes, since Liverpool are struggling a bit, I don't think they'll finish in the top four. But look at that. The last two games they've won, and they're 4 points behind Man United. So for me, Liverpool have still got a chance of being in the top four, and that's what the fans want to see. Of course, the title race is over for me, but if they can continue to keep on winning, then maybe they'll have a chance of finishing the top four. So for this game tomorrow, if they want to do that, they have to go to Nottingham Forest, a tough place to go, and beat them. So and I believe they will do that. So I'm going to go for a not Liverpool win of 2-0 on that game. Right, moving on into Everton against Crystal Palace. Of course, Everton lost the game against Newcastle 1-0. So I've got 1 point for that one because I predicted a 3-0 Newcastle win. Whereas for Crystal Palace, they've won 2-1 against Wolves. And I did say that Wolves will score first, and that's what um, Adama Traore did. But then I did say in the second half, Crystal Palace will just find a way to beat Wolves, and that's exactly what they did. So I've got 3 points for that one because I went for a Crystal Palace win of 2-1. So yeah, Everton. Over the last couple of games haven't been that great. They've lost, they drew, they've lost against United, they've lost against Tottenham, and now they've lost against Newcastle yesterday or even Wednesday, sorry. So Everton have they after getting a few good results of the last three games they're losing. So I don't know what's going on with Everton. I really don't. But yeah, but for me, Goodison Park is a tough place to go to. But Man United went there, got the win. Liverpool went there, drew. Chelsea went there, win. So for Crystal Palace, they're looking for another win, especially away from home. So I'm gonna go for a 2-1 Crystal Palace win because I think here that Everton will score first, and I think it might be what's the guy's name for Brighton, Neil Mopay. But I think Crystal Palace will score the likes of Eze and Wilfred Zaha again. So I think it's going to be um, an away win for Crystal Palace for the first time this season. So that's why I'm going to go for a 2-1 Crystal Palace win. It's going to be tough for both teams, but I think Crystal Palace will just nick a win. I think they'll do that. So 2-1 to Crystal Palace is going to be my prediction for that game. Right, so moving on into Manchester City against Brighton. Of course, Brighton, under their new manager, is still looking for a win because they drew against Liverpool, which is good, but they've lost against Tottenham and they've lost against Brentford and they drew against Nottingham Forest. So that is two draws and two defeats in as an interim manager for Brighton. So yeah, they're looking for a win, but unfortunately I don't see that against Manchester City. Even though Man City over the last couple of games have looked a bit shaky, draw against Copenhagen and losing against Liverpool, I still think Man City have still in that game, yeah, should have had maybe could have won the game or perhaps drawn because they had so many chances. Phil Foden's goal was disallowed because Haaland had fouled Virgil van Dijk, so it's questionable. But yeah, Man City didn't look their best, and Liverpool deserved the win. So I think this game on Saturday, sorry, it's going to be a tough game for Brighton. So I'm going to go for a 4-0 Manchester City win. I think Erling Haaland would score, even though he didn't score against Liverpool because Virgil van Dijk stopped him. I don't think Brighton and their defense will stop Erling Haaland at the Etihad. So that's why I'm going to go for a 4-0 Manchester City win. I think Phil Foden will score. Haaland maybe will score two goals and maybe Alvarez will score one goal. So that's why I think the players who will score against Brighton on tomorrow afternoon. So 4-0 to Man City is going to be my prediction. I think they'll get back to winning ways after two disappointing results. All right, moving on into the game of the weekend. Chelsea against Manchester United. Please, Chelsea. I hope and pray to God that you finally beat Manchester United in the Premier League. Because the last time we've done that was 5 years ago in 2017. Remember that Morata scored a header in the 55th minute and it was 1-0 Chelsea. And that was under Antonio Conte. Ever since then, it's been bare loss, bare draws, something like that. Nil-nils, 1-1s, we like we still haven't been Man United in the Premier League, and it's been 5 years since we've done that. It's at that ground, the same ground, Stamford Bridge 5 years ago. So I really hope and pray to God that Chelsea can finally beat Manchester United in the Premier League, and if we can do that, that will make my day, and we can break that Man United curse because whenever we feel confident about going to Manchester United, they always get good results against Chelsea. But let's hope that under Graham Potter, he can outclass Eric Ten Hag, get the best out of these players who are starting, and get a win. And maybe a clean sheet as well, because he done that 5 times in a row, and it's under Kepa Arrizabalaga. So I know Kepa is going to be a busy goalkeeper, but let's hope here that he will make some brilliant saves. His distribution can continue to be great. Catching the ball on time. Whenever there's a threat, he can just get out of the box and just clear the ball. Let's hope Kepa can do that because so far in the last 5 games, he has been superb and he's now at number one. Of course, Mendy, I'm not sure which competition is going to be starting, but it looks like Kepa is going to be our new number one from now on. So yeah, let's hope we can keep another clean sheet. So for this game, since Graham Potter is still unbeaten, and even though the last 2 games it hasn't been that great, we still haven't lost. That's the main thing I can say. But let's hope we can. But let's hope here that we can turn bad performance into a best one. Let's hope we can dominate Manchester United whenever we do one in the final third that we usually don't do, and make sure we put the ball in the back of the net. And if we can do that, then I know that Chelsea would definitely win this game on Saturday and get a clean sheet and maybe finally beat Manchester United in the league. So let's hope and pray that my team, Chelsea, can do it. So for this game tomorrow, I'm going to go for a 1-0 Chelsea win. I'm not sure why I'm super confident, but we're still unbeaten. We still keep a clean sheet. And let's not forget, when Graham Potter faced AC Milan, last season champions in Italy, we beat them 3-0 at Stamford Bridge with a clean sheet and 2-0 at San Siro with a clean sheet. So that's why I'm super confident that if Graham Potter can do that against AC Milan, then maybe he can do that against Man United. And let's not forget, when they faced Man United last season, um, at the Amex, they beat them 4-0. And then early on, and then the first game of the season, they beat them 2-1. And that was on the Graham Potter. So if he can do that for Brighton, I know he can do that for Chelsea. So that's why I'm confident that Chelsea will go to Manchester United, finally beat them in the league, and get a clean sheet and a 3 points. So 1-0 to Chelsea is going to be my prediction. And the next video, I'm going to be talking about Cristiano Ronaldo, the injuries Chelsea have got, the predicted lineup, and my final prediction, like you already saw. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that one. It's going to be absolutely chaos and interesting when you see that video. So make sure you tune in later on today. So 1-0 to Chelsea is going to be my prediction. All right, now let's move on into Aston Villa up against Brentford, the Sunday's games. Now, I heard the news earlier on today that after that defeat against Fulham last night, Aston Villa have sacked Steven Gerrard. So that is 4 managers already this season that has already been sacked. Scott Parker, Thomas Tuchel, um, who else? I forgot. Is it Bruno Lage? I think it's Bruno Lage, yeah. Bruno Lage, and now it's Steven Gerrard. Yeah, 4 managers have been sacked so far this season. I mean, we're in game week 13 and we've already seen 4 managers sack. Jeez, the Premier League is going chaos at the moment. You know, could this be? And if Leicester City, if they continue to not win games, could we see the fifth time that we see the manager sacked in the Premier League? We shall wait and see. But Steven Gerrard has been sacked, and I do get it because Aston Villa, if you look at the table, yeah, let me just have a look very, very quickly. Aston Villa at the moment in the table is now only the same points as Wolves in the relegation zone. So they're 3 points in of 3 points ahead of the 20th place, 1 point above Leicester, and the same points against Wolves. So I do get because Aston Villa want to stay in the Premier League, and if you're in the same amount of points, um, like close to the relegation zone, then you have a right to stack Steven Gerrard, and the fans had enough. Excuse me. Yeah, the fans had enough because they want to stay in the Premier League. They don't want to get relegated. So for me, I knew that Steven Gerrard is in serious trouble and he got sacked. So I don't think here, but the only problem is that I don't think that this was the time yet to be sacking Steven Gerrard because it's only 2 games, I mean 2 days to go before they face a new game. So I believe here that Steven Gerrard, like Aston Villa could have sacked Steven Gerrard before the World Cup, so that's what it could have happened. But I know they understand that fans had enough. So I don't know who's going to be the manager or the interim manager for this game. So we're going to have to wait and see. For Brentford, they drew against Chelsea. The first half they were really good, but the second half Chelsea were the much better side. So a draw is a good result for both teams. So as for against Brentford, this game is going to be tough for Villa because Brentford are starting to slightly pick up points after they lose against Arsenal. So they're starting to pick up points. So this game on Sunday, I'm going to go for a 2-0 Brentford win because when Aston Villa faced Chelsea, a West London club, they beat them 2-0. And when they face Brentford, another West London club, it's going to be tough for them. And they sacked Steven Gerrard. So let's hope that the interim manager can make some tangible changes, get the best out of these players, and maybe get a win for Villa. So yeah, but since we don't know what the next manager will be, I'm just going to go for 2-0 to Brentford. As I'm recording this right now. So 2-0 to Brentford is going to be my prediction because, like I said, Brentford are starting to pick up points. So, yeah, I'm going to go for 2-0 Brentford. All right, the next game, Leeds up against Fulham. Of course, Leeds United lost their game against Leicester City away from home, and Fulham won their game against Aston Villa. So, oh boy, this one is difficult, It's really going to be difficult. Now, the reason why this is difficult is because Leeds United have a really good record. Oh, sorry, not really good record, but they normally play well at Ellen Road at their ground. And the game against Arsenal, they were so unlucky not to get a point or maybe a win because in the second half, they were the much better side, you know. And Fulham won the game against Aston Villa. So, and their away record isn't that great. So, God, I can see this being a draw. I can see this being as a draw. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 because Arsenal got a lucky win. Fulham won their last game, but the away record isn't there. So I'm gonna go for 1-1. This is so difficult, but I'm just gonna go for 1-1 because yeah, because I think Fulham will score. Leeds United will get so many chances, but I think they'll just only score one goal. So that's why I'm gonna go for 1-1 for that game on Sunday. Right. Southampton against Arsenal. Of course, Southampton ended Gary O'Neill's unbeaten record away from home. So, yeah, and Shea Adams scored that goal. So, that's the first time they've won for a couple of games now, and the first time that they kept a clean sheet this season. So, well done to Southampton on Wednesday for that one. So yeah, Southampton against Arsenal. Of course, Arsenal's game was postponed against Man City, but they've just won their game against PSV 1-0, and it should have been more because they had so many chances. But listen, as long as you get the win and keep the clean sheet, that's good. But you know the thing is about this game is that Southampton has a really good record against Arsenal at St Mary's. Last season they beat them 1-0, and now's the time here that Arsenal were this close of finishing the top four, but they end up losing against Southampton. So yeah, my God. But Arsenal are flying this season. Last season they weren't. So this season they are flying. So it's going to be difficult for Southampton. It's going to be very, very difficult. So for that game on Saturday, I'm going to go for a 3-1 Arsenal win. I think Southampton will score, but I think Arsenal will just be all over Southampton. So yeah, I think Shea Adams or maybe some other Southampton player will score, but I think Arsenal will just dominate Southampton, get more chances, more shots on target, and all that stuff because they're doing well this season, like I said they would. So I'm gonna go for a 3-1 Arsenal win at St Mary's on Sunday. Right, the next game, Wolves against Leicester City. Of course, Leicester City won the game against Leeds, and for Wolves, they've lost the game against Crystal Palace. So, yeah, Leicester City, like the game against Nottingham Forest at home. The next game against Bournemouth away from home, they've lost. So I think this would be the same thing. Listen, even though you got 2 wins, you're still in the bottom three. So Leicester City have to win this game and make sure that other teams slip up if they want to avoid relegation this season. So um, Wolves don't usually score lots of goals. They don't usually score goals like maybe 1-0, 2-0, something like that. So but their last game at home, they beat Nottingham Forest, who were in the bottom. So I think this would be the same thing. I think this would be like a 1-0 Leicester City. I think that Diego Costa was so unlucky not to get his first goal for Wolves against Crystal Palace. But I think he will do it. But I think he will score at home he because he's a predator. He just goes past plays. He just causes threat in the final third, and then boom, he will miss, but then he will score. So I think Diego Costa will score his first goal for Wolves against Leicester City on a Sunday. So that's why this game on Sunday, I'm gonna go for a 1-0 Wolves win. Even though Leicester City won against Leeds, I still don't think they will avoid relegation if Brendan Rodgers is still here. So that's why on Sunday I'm gonna go for a 1-0 Wolves win, and I think Diego Costa will score that goal, and that'll be the only goal in that game on Sunday. So 1-0 to Wolves is gonna be my prediction. And right, moving on into last Sunday, which is Tottenham against Newcastle United. Now, for this game, I expect this really tough to be both Tottenham and Newcastle, but Tottenham especially because Newcastle, when they went away to Old Trafford, they got a win. I mean, sorry, they got a draw. The first half, they were the better side, but then the second half, Man United were the much better side. So it's like 50-50, and a draw was a decent result. For this game against Tottenham, they've only lost 2 games so far this season, and that was against big teams, the likes of Arsenal and Man United away from home. So I expect this to be really tough for Tottenham because Newcastle are doing really good. And can we see them get into the European places for the first time since they've last won the league? We shall wait and see. So Eddie Howe's doing a really good job for Newcastle. So and plus, it's a big game on Sunday. So I really hope that Newcastle will do us a favour and beat Tottenham because if we can beat Man United and let Newcastle beat Tottenham, then that'll be really good. Because if we should have, because since Man United beat Tottenham and we could have beaten Brentford, we could have been 1 point behind them. And if we could have beaten Man United tomorrow and then Newcastle would have won, would have been above Tottenham. You know what I mean? So that draw against Brentford was really disappointing for me. Really disappointing. So for this game, I'm going to go for a 1-1. I think that I think Tottenham will maybe do one in the first half, but then Newcastle will just find a way. They will just find a way to break Tottenham down because you know that Antonio Conte always likes to go for a 3-4-3 or maybe a 3-5-2, and you can see that it still doesn't work. So he doesn't change his tactics. So That's basically what happened. He did that for Chelsea, but he cannot do it for Tottenham. So, yeah, so Antonio Conte needs to find a way to get a win. Otherwise, Tottenham fans will still want Antonio Conte to stay, but not finishing the top four in the trophy will be a serious problem for Tottenham. So, yeah, it's going to be tough for both teams. So that's why I'm going to go for a draw 1-1 because Newcastle are playing well and Tottenham, I win the top four. So I'm going to go for a draw 1-1. Then we move on into the last game of Game Week 13, and it's on a Monday night. West Ham United against Bournemouth. Of course, West Ham lost their game against Liverpool, and they should have done that because they had few clear-cut chances. But Alisson made the penalty save. The defenders blocked the line, something like that. So West Ham could have gone a draw, maybe something like that. Um, West Ham are unlucky. And Bournemouth, Gary O'Neill's unbeaten one came to an end because Southampton beat them at Dean Court. So yeah, so this game on Monday, I think West Ham will win this game because, like I said, they played really well against Liverpool, are lucky to lose. Whereas for Bournemouth, they also had clear-cut chances, but they couldn't manage to beat Southampton. So this game on Monday is at the London Stadium, a top place to go because the atmosphere of the West Ham fans. So for this game on Monday night, I'm gonna go for West Ham win of probably. I'm gonna go for a 2-1 West Ham win because I think Bournemouth will score first, but I think West Ham will just find a way to score goals, and I think the goal scorers is probably Sumakawa and Mikel Antonio. Those are the two goal scorers for West Ham. For Bournemouth, I think it might be what's that striker's name? I've forgotten. Dominic Solanke. I think Dominic Solanke will score for Bournemouth, but the two goal scorers for West Ham are Samaka and Mikel Antonio. So those are going to be the goal scorers for that game on Monday night. So I'm going to go for West Ham win of 2-1. All right, guys, that is all my predictions. Let me go through them one more time. So, Nottingham Forest against Liverpool. I've gone for a Liverpool win of 2-0 on a Saturday night lunchtime. The next one, excuse me, I've gone for Crystal Palace win of 2-1 against against Everton at Goodison Park. The next game, I've gone for Manchester City 4-0 win against Brighton. Then the game of the weekend, I've gone for Chelsea win of 1-0. Hopefully that does happen on tomorrow night. Then on Sunday, I've gone for a Brentford win of 2-0. Like I said, we don't know what the manager is going to be for the Aston Villa game, so that's why I went for a Brentford win of 2-0. The next one, I've gone for a draw between Leeds United and Fulham 1-1. Then the next one, I've gone for Southampton 1, Arsenal 3 on that one. Then the next one, I've gone for Wolves win of 1-0 against Leicester. Then the last Sunday's game, I've gone for a draw between Newcastle and Tottenham 1-1. And then on Monday night, I've gone for a West Ham win of 2-1. So those are all of my Premier predictions for this week's Game Week 13 in the Premier League. Let me know in the comments down below where do you like my predictions and or where do you disagree and what's your predictions. Let me know in the comments down below as well so that I can quickly comment and see if I agree or disagree, or maybe if there's a bit of surprise and you explain to me why so that I understand what you mean. So what's your prediction? So let me know in the comments down below. So that is it, guys. That is the end of this first video. Don't forget, in the next video is going to be a match preview for Chelsea versus Manchester United, since that game kicks off tomorrow night, 5:30 p.m. UK time at Stamford Bridge, and there'll be a live watch along for that one. So that's why this preview is going to be coming out later on today. So make sure you guys don't miss that. And if you don't miss that video, make sure you hit the bell notifications first of all. But if you are new, hit the subscribe button first, then hit the bell notification so that I never miss that video. Make sure you hit the share button so that everyone can come along and give their predictions and also their match preview going to this game tomorrow. And make sure you smash a like if you enjoyed this video and the next video as well. So make sure you guys do that. So that is all the predictions. Next up, the match preview. So I'll see you guys. So make sure you guys tune in for that one later on today. So thank you guys so much for watching. Look after yourselves. Take care and God bless.